Less than ep data end equals 534 data start equals 74 greater than Jim Irsay, the longtime owner of the Indianapolis Colts, has passed away at the age of 65. His death marks the end of an era, not just for Colts fans, but for the entire NFL. As I talk about Jim, it's impossible to define him by just one title. He was more than just an NFL owner. He was a steward of the game, a passionate advocate for mental health, a collector of history, a lover of rock and roll, and most of all, a man who wore his emotions on his sleeve. Less than ape data end equals 1029 data start equals 536 greater than Jim Irsay's journey with football started young. Imagine being 12 years old and having Johnny Unitas bark at you in the cafeteria. "Move your ass, kid." That was Jim's first welcome to the NFL. From equipment room grunt to general manager at 24, then the league's youngest owner at 37, Irsay lived and breathed football. He took over full control of the Colts in 1997 after his father's death, and under his leadership, the Colts saw real success, including a victory in Super Bowl 41 in 2007. Less than P data end equals 1457. Data start equals 1031 greater than. But Jim was never just a businessman in a luxury box. He was a romantic. Someone who believed in art, history, and the beauty of second chances. He famously spent millions on rare guitars and historical artifacts, including Muhammad Ali's championship belt, and a manuscript of On the Road by Jack Kerouac. He showcased these treasures around the country, for free blending culture and community, in a way few owners ever dared. Less than prod data end equals 1883, data start equals 1459 greater than. He battled addiction for decades, facing those demons publicly and vulnerably. In turn, he became a tireless advocate for mental health, creating the Colts Kicking the Stigma initiative to fight against the shame and silence around mental illness. That part of his life wasn't just a side story. It was core to who he was. A man scarred by loss, his sister, his brother, and eventually himself, channeling pain into purpose. Less than P data end equals 2187, data start equals 1885 greater than. Of course, he was also outspoken, at times controversial. From challenging other NFL owners to making bold and brash statements, Irsay never filtered his thoughts. He stood up against racism, advocated for justice, and didn't shy away from taking a stand when it mattered, even when it ruffled feathers. Less than P data end equals 244. 2 data start equals 2189 greater than. He made the hard calls too. Letting go of Peyton Manning was, in his own words, the decision that would be carved on his tombstone. Yet even then, he acted with heart. Manning and Irsay remained close, with Manning deeply mourning his passing this week. Less than P data end equals 2766 data start equals 2444 greater than. What made Jim Irsay unforgettable wasn't just what he built. It was how human he remained throughout. He was a boss who flew out every staff member to the Super Bowl on his own dime. A man who handed out $100 bills at training camp. An owner chosen by Colts legends to present them at the Hall of Fame. That speaks volumes. Less than P data end equals 2968. Data start equals 2768. Greater than. Yes, his story had its darkness. But more than that, it had resilience, soul, and a commitment to something larger than himself. He believed ownership was stewardship, and he lived it every single day. Less than ape data end equals 3119 data is last node equals data is only node equals data start equals 2970 greater than. Jim Irsay leaves behind a team, a city, and a legacy built not just on wins, but on heart. And for that, he'll be remembered far beyond the gridiron. Stay subscribed for more videos.